I'm like so into it, like I can't really like react or like think on it. No, because like it doesn't make me go like it's such a serious tone. I like the aesthetics. It like the first thing you're probably gonna think is like, oh, it looks like Dark Souls. It's like no, for me it's mix of Tenchu was like the first thing that I was thinking of just because of like the setting, like that time era in Japan. Also, like there seemed to be like some stealth mechanics, and in the descriptions too that they're saying that there will be some stealth mechanics in there, right? So it's like a big mix of I don't know, just comparison wise, like I'm just thinking like Tenchu mixed with like Bloodborne, honestly. Just like very like glass cannon build. Like of course the guy pulls out like the umbrella shield thing out of his arm, like the prosthetic arm, right? It's like there's a lot of different tools that the guy has in the gameplay. Would the game force you to choose between them, or would it give you all of them at once, kind of thing? I would like it if it was the former, where you're limited to a certain type of play depending on which one you choose, right? Rather than having access to everything at once. No, the game seems really cool though. Like it's just like the main character, he seems like a nobody. He looks really dead, right? He doesn't seem like a super anime big hero like main character that's gonna save the world or something like that. No, he just seems like a guy that's just lost on his path, just down, and he pretty much like doesn't have anything left to go, right? But then I think the story is like his master, like that little kid, is like the master. He's like a hired bodyguard, and like it's not time for him to die yet, like. And then the guy's narrating about how the limb that you lost, there'll be like a better use for it or something like in return. Like it's not like yeah.
Make use of his blood.
I think combat wise too, like it's from software, right? So you know what the combat already kind of is probably gonna feel like if you played a lot of the Souls games. But then the coolest thing is like just like the grappling hook in combat when you're fighting like the guy on the horse at the very end too in the trailer. Right, like dodging shit, and he pulls himself towards him, right? And does an aerial attack. The potential mobility is something I think I'm gonna enjoy a lot, because there's so many games nowadays where it's like third person, but you're really just grounded, right? And you kind of just have to like block or like roll around the guy and like hit his butt or something, right? But if you have that verticality and just the pace of it, like the pacing seems fun. I just love the how big some of the attacks are, like the blocks too. Like when you're blocking the attacks, it seems so nice. Just like the amount of flair, the impact, right? Just the countering systems, potentially, like if there is someone like that, right? And the jump attacks too, the potential assassinations. There's a reason why this game reminds me so much of Tenchu. Like Tenchu is an old series. It's such an old series, but like I would like a stealth orientated game. Like even if it's not orientated, as long as it has mechanics, then it's fine. Now I'm kind of thinking about the resurrection mentality, or like the mechanic that he has, where he's like the guy kind of gets knocked down, but then there's like a red flare or something. I don't know what that's about. Like if they're gonna have sort of the mystical magic powers in this game, or are they just gonna keep it solely on like just normal human level? You know what I mean? I mean at the end, I mean you kind of see snippets of like the other potential bosses, like the big giant centipede, the giant snake. So there's probably gonna be a level of some mystical force in this game's universe.
Master still lives.
Yeah, your master still lives right here.
Your master still lives. They'll soon make use of his blood.
And they'll soon make use of his bloodline. So it's kind of like a revenge plot, I'm thinking. But I feel like there's more to it than that.
We've lost. Will give way to something more.
Now it's from software, so like you're probably not gonna have a very like linear story, like a lot of just exposition, just details and details. It's probably gonna be like a very bones of a plot line, and then you're probably gonna have to figure things out on your own. But it's probably gonna be more about the combat. But if they add in a lot of story elements to it, I think that would be very interesting. Just because like the Japanese theme, like the 1500s, which I think this is set on, there's a lot of untouched potential just to make it very gritty and just like the bandit, ninja, samurai, like just the theme of it, right?
Useful.
And like you look at these minions right here too, or like just like the basic like dudes, right? Like the thugs and shit. Like fuck, I can't pause it at the right time. They're really bony, like they're just fat and bony, Cause they just like raid villages and shit, and they just probably just like eat everything, but they never like work out, right? They remind me like look at the guy's fingers too. It's very hollow like. They're just very like rabid creatures. So I like that.
You'll learn to appreciate its worth.
And that part too. The thing that I was asking before, would you have other utensils, not utensils, sorry, would you have like other tools also available at the same time? Like the umbrella metal shield thing, or with the I feel like the grappling hook would just be like the default one that you have, because like it has like the ropes and everything in there. But like the axe, like some of the other tools that they might have, are you limited to one, or can you have more at the same time? And the small little details in like movement animations and just like the block string, attack strings, how they deflect, right? It's just so fluid. It works so well in my opinion. They already put in a lot of effort into this game, man. But I'm really curious about this one. I'm not sure what other people will think, cause like this game doesn't come across to me as like, oh, you're the chosen undead or something, and you're like constantly being resurrected every single time you die, right? And the game is Sekiro Shadows die twice, so maybe it's like an adrenaline rush. If it's like powered down to like a human level, where you don't have like mystical forces or some shit like that, would it just be like an adrenaline thing, where you're like very temporarily like getting back up, something like that? Or would it be something more? Because if there's something more, then you definitely have a lot more potential to plant in the seeds of some dark, like, plot twist for the future. Like the main character, like he's been getting powers by like selling his soul or some shit, or I don't fucking know. Nothing generic like that though. This guy seems pretty fucking cool. Oh man, just like deflecting that shit just looks so cool, man. Because like it just doesn't look so stationary and so boring when you're deflecting the attacks. There's a lot of flair into it, just a lot of life in the attacks. The simple trades with the swords, right? Maybe I'm praising it too much, but honestly, this is a project I'm going to be looking out for. Yeah, that is so cool. Like, he just does it like so fast too. You look at the blocking animations, right? It's like, it's not just like him just blocking the sword like by his chest and just taking it. No, he's deflecting it in different angles. I feel like shit, man. Yeah, there's one where he like goes up, and then there's one where he like deflects it down or something like that. Maybe I'm just reading it a little bit too much, but I would like a more I guess like glass cannon mentality of game like Bloodborne, where you don't really have the option of blocking everything, and the game's more just about dodging shit, right? But if they have blocking in this game with the swords, maybe there potentially is a deficit in just not timing your attacks, right? If you time your attacks and parry accordingly, that's more of a benefit than just holding one button and getting chipped out or some shit. I like the vibe of the game. Like going like with like a Souls game, I kind of got burnt out on it, because like, you know, you stream it, you marathon it, you go back to back on all the games, and it's kind of like the mechanics never really changed too much, or with the exception of maybe like Bloodborne, where you go more just more dodging, more like Dex, right? Glass cannon mentality, like I said. But this game, just like with the grappling hooks, the how nice like the parrying and blocking looks already. Hopefully it is like maybe there is like a perfect timing, because I love counters, man. Like video games, I love like countering, like frame perfect, like that kind of system where you get more of a reward, but it's more of a risk, right? Risk reward thingy majiggy. But no, it's a creepy trailer. A lot of gameplay already, but I feel like I need a little bit more just to understand where exactly this game wants to go. But it's just a teaser, man. Like E3 is just a teaser. They're not going to reveal everything, I understand, right? But this definitely has my attention. I feel like there's like a small niche that is trying to target. And like I said, for me, it reminds me of like Tenchu mixed with Bloodborne instead of a Tenchu in a Souls game. Just, yeah. And the coolest thing is, like I said, just the main character, like the guy just seems like a nobody, you know? He seems cool, he seems like a nice guy, but he just seems so fucking broken and dead. Maybe like metaphorically and figuratively and literally at the same time.